The last time we tried installing carbon fiber on the STI, it was a fucking disaster. But today we're here to give it one more shot and see if we can redeem ourselves. And I know you're thinking, how are we gonna make these shitty fenders fit any better on the STI? Well, we're not gonna be installing these. We're actually gonna be installing our brand new Seibon OEM style fenders we just picked up last night for the STI. A lot of people in the Instagram and TikTok comment section were telling me that Seibon has the best quality in terms of fitment. So today we're gonna be installing their fenders and seeing if it lives up to the hype. OEM fender, Seibon OEM like fender, bullshit fender that we're not going to talk about. It is a direct replacement. Everything should fit just fine. We're going to throw it on the car, mock it up, and we'll see how everything fits. As I've started mocking up the fender right now, just loosely putting the bolts on, my first impressions are already that they fit much better. It seems that the gap on the A-pillar has been fixed, at least in terms of having it fit a lot closer without that huge, enormous gap. Everything appears to have lined up already. I'm gonna keep installing this and then I'll keep you guys updated. I'm hoping that we're not gonna have any weird issues right here with the headlight, but we're just gonna keep going and fingers crossed everything's gonna work out. I'm super happy with how this is coming out. The gap where the A-pillar meets the fender is now gone, pretty much non-existent. We still need to install the rest of the fender, which involves the fender caps, which is gonna be pretty straightforward. I'm pretty happy with how everything looks. We still need to tighten everything down. It's just pretty much mocked up. Now, the only issue I'm experiencing is the corner of the headlight here where it meets the fender. There is this gap, but admittedly, even on the OEM fender, I always had that gap. But even then, I'm very happy with how everything's going. We're gonna install the fender caps, like I said, and then we'll time lapse through the rest of it and give you guys my final opinion. The fender cap itself is really interesting just because it's not integrated into the fender. It is two separate pieces, just like the OEM unit, which means that it has a better chance of fitting properly. And the thing with this fender cap is that these don't just tab into the fender. So there are studs on the fender itself, and there are nuts with some washers that go into them. So the fender cap is actually secured instead of using a clip, just with an 8mm nut. So it's pretty simple and straightforward to install. You just gotta take these off. We just gotta remove the nuts and then we'll just put this on. And I expect that we're gonna have very similar results in terms of fitment quality with the fender. Fender caps in, just gonna pop in the trim pieces and see how easy it is. It should just fit. Let's see. All right, so that hole needs to be made bigger. Same with that one. Not a big deal. So it's tabbing in on this edge, but we're still pretty loose on the side. What we can do is add 3M tape and that'll fix that issue. Now I'm gonna reinstall this trim piece by the cowl and the windshield. I'm gonna cut this edge off real quick just because, again, this thing has nowhere to tab into, unfortunately. It is what it is, but we still retain that other tab on the very bottom. Yeah, that fits so much flush, or so much flusher, I guess you could say. So there is an issue, just like the other fender. There is nowhere for that pop clip up here by the A-pillar where it starts to push into or clip into. And what we can do is, again, use 3M tape to pretty much tape this to the inside of the fender. Everything else looks great. Everything else looks pretty flush. Everything's tightened down. But overall, I'm really, really happy with how the fender came out. Oh no, looks like we're gonna have to make more modifications just to the tabs. They're too small, which is actually a good problem to have, rather than being too big. But yeah, you guys see that? It's not going anywhere. There's the final result. Headlights mounted, headlight brackets on, fender shrouds back on. Everything is now mounted onto the car. How we ended up getting the bracket that secures the bumper onto the fender, what we ended up doing was grabbing a drill bit again. We stepped out the holes right here that mount the bracket onto the fender. And once we did that, it was able to tab in, put the screw back in, put everything back together, and it's all said and done. Now, let's time lapse through the other side, give you guys my honest opinion, and see if this thing was worth it. Oh man, there she is. She looks so good. I am a big fan of exposed carbon in the right areas. I think it gives it a really nice contrast and compare it to the other colored panels. Some people may call this rice, but I think it looks really nice. Maybe in the future we will get these paint matched just because I do like my car looking one color. Overall, as far as the quality and fitment goes here, I think it is a lot better than whatever the hell that thing is. So what would I give this as far as should you buy it? Should you spend your money on it? I think you should buy it. You guys saw in the video, very little modification was required. All we needed was a drill bit, a drill. We made a couple holes a little larger in order to fit some trim pieces in. We still need to add the 3M tape here and to the cowl piece, but everything fits great. I can open my doors without losing paint, without rubbing. The clearance for the bumper, my goodness, it is so flush compared to the old one. God, that was awful. We still have the fitment issue here on the corner of the headlight, but maybe we can add some washers in the future and fix that. And the other issue is, you guys can see right here, the hood sits a lot lower than the fender and the front bumper, but that's only because we installed the Aero Catch hood latches. So when we got rid of the OEM hood latch, that ended up making the hood sit a lot lower than the front bumper and the fender. Overall, man, I am really, really excited and really happy with how this came out. I know I was promising you guys the dyno video, which is gonna be shot and recorded today, right after this one, but we are going to a car meet tonight. I'm trying to get the STI ready, and safe to say, I think she's ready to go. We're gonna give it a quick wash and then we'll wrap up this video. There she is, she's all cleaned up, she's ready to go. Unfortunately, between the automated car wash and the self-service car wash, it was way too loud, and there was actually quite a long line for the self-service car wash. I didn't wanna hold anybody up trying to record. It's just me right now, my girlfriend already left, so I just didn't wanna, impede on other people's time. But I'm really happy with how everything turned out. Let me know what you guys think down below. The dyno video talking about the results and how much power the STI finally made is coming up right after this. So if you're interested in checking that out, make sure to subscribe. New videos coming up every single week. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one.